So what's up, everybody? Hey, Tony. Hi, Marissa. Hi, MRDSN189. Sure who that is, but oh, okay. I just see Driven Dad here. Okay. Glad you guys are all here. So tonight I have two dumpling shoppers who in a previous life were Instacart shoppers, but who have stories to tell, and we're hoping some Instacart shoppers show up here tonight and check out this video because I agree. You know, I've talked to some people who say they can do well, they can do decent on Instacart. I was recently faced with a challenge that I'll explain in a minute. But first, I want to introduce that we have Matthew, the grocery guy.
Hello.
He is Chicago Metro. Thanks for coming on, Matt.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we also have Celeste back, who was on our Dumpling Roundtable, and she's back on. So we're going to have both these guys, and both these guys have successful dumpling businesses and have stepped away completely from Instacart, but both have enough experience on Instacart to speak on it very thoroughly. So I'll jump in and start, though. I will say one thing that I was recently put to the challenge by my podcast listeners saying, listen, you've done rideshare, you've done tons of rideshare, you've done delivery, you've done this, that, the other, but you haven't done shopping. This was like end of November, just passed. And I said, you know, I don't like shopping even for myself. I don't want to. And they said, well, you've done all these other spaces, you have to do it. So I decided to do a Shipt versus Instacart challenge here in Denver Metro. And I live just outside of town by about 5-6 miles. And I got to tell you that Shipt actually is, I mean, again, it's market to market and stuff, but you do learn some things. Shipt is a doable platform to make some money. I can't make one dime on Instacart. And I have seen things that aren't even offensive. It's beyond offensive.
Enraging.
I've seen $55 or I saw a 55 item order for $4 with no tip.
It's enraging. That's
I mean, I don't.
Did you hear their new policy now? But did you hear about their newest policy? It's just like, I never thought it could get worse. They changed it where now you have to physically be like in the parking lot for the store or be in the store. They won't even send you anything if you're home. Like before, we could just sit around and wait for batches. You can't do that now. Like you have to fully be in the store.
Sounds like an employee going to a job to me. I only
even
rolled 2 cigarettes for this conversation. I already need to get rid of one.
What's up, Arturo? I see you came in here. But yeah, Arturo, you hate Instacart too. I'm glad you just joined us. I'm looking for one of the pro Instacart people to jump in here, like Gig Lebowski.
Getting harder.
Oh, there's Joel. There's Joel Shapiro.
Hey,
what's up, Joel?
Hi, Joel.
So anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Instacart literally.
Joel,
like,
I need a new hat. Look at this thing. I wear it way too much every day. It's starting to give me a rash. Send me a new one.
Joel, look at that old hat, man.
Look at this old hat. Look at that old hat. Look at all that sweat and blood and tears in there. Look at that. Hanging by a thread. Look at all that sweat. All that dumpling sweat.
See, that's
complaining about a sweaty hat, and I don't even have a hat.
Oh, he says I got you. Just Joel or just Matt or all of us?
Oh, no, now we're talking. Come on, now we're talking real money here. Can't wait.
Hey, William. Hey, Kim. What's up? So guys, we are just getting into the Instacart discussion here. And again, both these guys have successful dumplings now. And I had Matt on my 10th episode of my audio podcast. I mean, I'd been around for like 9 weeks. I still didn't know what I was doing. And I had him on, and now I'm on like episode 105.
Woo.
Wow.
You know, so I've been just kicking along here, and yeah, it's kind of funny that now here we are back. But I've had so many people talk to me about how in some areas they're still killing it with Instacart. And I'm like, no matter where you are, you can't kill it with Instacart. And if you are, somehow you're getting into some batch where they need you temporarily, or it's your honeymoon period or whatever, but it's not. I don't know. You can't count on it. What I've seen is disgusting. I already mentioned the $4 order, but I had another one too, where I was actually we do a radio show, Jason Thierry and I from the Gig Economy podcast on Friday nights. And we were talking about Instacart, and I was saying that they couldn't go any lower than $4. There's no way.
Well, some add-on orders have been in the $3.
That's what I was going to say, was that it was, what did they call them? Triple stack or whatever. So it was a triple stack batch.
So they're still adhering to the $7 minimum, There's no incentives on it, no more heavy pay, even though they haven't disabled the text on it in the offering screen. So none of that's going to the shopper, but also they found another way to steal from shoppers by these add-on batches where they're able to add them for whatever dollar amount they want. And the lowest I've seen so far is around $3.25. It's after you've already accepted an order that's garbage, and then they want to throw one on top of that for under the guaranteed minimum of 7. So yeah, you're probably seeing 3 batches under that $7 umbrella, which is,
well, no, here's what I saw. I saw 3 order. It's actually a little better than you're saying, but not in the big scheme of things, not at all. But it was like, instead of, what would it be? 4, 3, 12, but it was like $11 plus a $22 tip. So I was seeing 33 for like 80 some odd items, going 3 different spots. That was going to take me, alone on the driving portion, was going to take me a while. I looked on the map. I was surprised that they weren't 3 close locations like they sometimes do. They were kind of spread. And I was like, man, I'm going to waste a good amount of gas. I'm going to waste a ton of time at the store. And you're trying to make it look like $33, but without that tip, that's $11.
And that's
like 2 hours of my day for $11. I don't work for $5.50.
And the tip is
But let me ask a question. They have the cancellation policy, Matt. So if they send, let's say they've already accepted 1 or 2 batches, and then they send the 3rd add-on, does that go towards their cancellation rate for denying the add-on?
No, you never accepted it in the first place, so it's not a cancellation. You just say decline, no way. And then
I wasn't sure if they went towards.
Then it goes out back into the hopper to be recombined with another set of batches that are garbage, or shot onto another add-on to somebody who's already like sweating, panicking in the store. And they prey on that, like that panicky kind of gamification. They just go, yeah, money, more money. And unfortunately, a majority of the shoppers I experience right now is that mentality. It's just like, yes, and no.
So
because
it's slim pickings. It's
when
like
a shopper
now, it has been in the last 2 weeks. Yes, it sounds like. They're changing major things, like you said, the location thing, but I think there's also some more major changes going on in the foundation of the code that hasn't even really been launched yet. As I've seen in the last 6 years of just watching Instacart, anytime there's like weird things going on across the board in North America,
it's when they're updated.
It's when they're updating something, and we've only seen a piece of it so far, for a complete kind of redesign coming down the pipe somewhere. And I think that's coming shortly for hundreds of thousands of Instacart shoppers that they're unaware of.
Yeah.
So when I see a $4 order, and you're saying there's a minimum 7 though, and there wasn't a 7, this was, do you want this for 4?
That's an add. So then that's an add-on. You can't go and look at a list of Instacart orders that have below $7 right now. And this will change, but right now, the only way you can see an offer for a batch of orders, which it can be 1 order or 3 for now, is the add-on order after you've already accepted an order. So that's the only way they can go below the 7 for a batch, which can be up to 3 customer orders. Now you are seeing triples, as we call them, for $7. Now, if you divide $7 by 3, you are getting, and you've always gotten since the beginning of this change, you can get more than 1 order under that $7 payment. So 7 divided by 3 is what, like 250 or something like that? I don't know. I'm terrible at math, but it's bad. So that's how you're getting a single customer order under 7, which is constant and has always been the case, which is why you'll see different organizing groups saying we want to get paid per customer order because that's more fair.
Yeah. And
so what you saw, it could only be an add-on order, in my opinion, from what I know of the system.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have, when I did that, I did a 2-week trial, and I was doing shipped like almost the whole time, because I was laughing at Instacart the whole time. Every time I opened it, I was like, there's no way you can't do this. And I mean, it was stumping me. You can't do this and make money.
So the thing is, you found really quickly that since you do a lot of the service things, like you said, your people kind of force you to do shopping. You've done, picking up the burritos and driving people, but this is a much different beast. You're parking, you're getting out of your car, you're going into a store for upwards of an hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, and doing like physical manual labor. The amount of times I've delivered like 10 pumpkins or watermelons or 10 cases of water, you don't really see that on DoorDash or Uber Eats or anything. So the audacity for not only a poor of a Meta to start trying to pay like $2 Tony at DoorDash, but for Fiji to go into hyperdrive with it as soon as she took over. She pushed down the pay immediately And every day it gets worse, as you saw. And you stopped doing it, but today it's the worst it's ever been, and tomorrow it'll be worse. And it's
Right.
unfortunate and infuriating. All this gray hair is mostly from Instacart.
Well, but how long did it take? And first of all, when was the last time either of you did an Instacart run? I know it's probably now been a while since you have. I mean,
You want to have one of us you did it,
2019.
Celeste?
I'm actually guessing you can't, Max. You've probably been banned or something. Max.
When I said I was cutting the cord, I was cutting the cord. I think my last might have been the beginning of 2020, just because I was still building my clientele from 2019. I may have done a few, but those last few have, no.
Made you hate yourself.
That was it.
So
and I was like, never again.
For me, I stay active just so I can have access to the system. I do a batch here and there, and sometimes I'll have a week where I'll do like almost $200, just kind of watching, looking at the system. I wasn't able to have any time to do it last week and the week before, just because Dumpling is it's like almost like looking at a good stock. It's like going up and then a little down, and then a higher peak and then a higher peak. So I'm having really good growth, and pretty soon I won't have time to even check in on Instacart, which emotionally, physically, for my circulatory system and hardening my chest, it's good, but I don't want to leave behind, fighting for the people that don't speak up or can't fight for themselves. So I want to try and always leave some time to check in, as well as I want to stay active in case they IPO and they cut me a nice check like the Uber people did. I want to take their money and then use it to spend it to fight them. So that would feel nice. So I'm going to try and stay active until they IPO, if they even do.
Right.
You never know.
But every time you turn it on, it's probably just even more.
Oh yeah.
I'm not.
Oh, atrocious. You can't. So. I mean, even if I wanted to take a batch, like my pride wouldn't let me at this point. I'm trying, I'm looking, but man, this week, last week, like with the new changes that they've done, it's impossible. I'm looking at the DoorDash bag they sent me a couple weeks ago when I signed up for them. I'm like, I could probably do that. It's more lucrative. I'll go pick up a burrito in 5 minutes and put it on your doorstep for the same amount of money I'm making on Instacart. Like, why would anyone do Instacart right now? They should be having bonuses for thousands of dollars to get people to do like 90 batches, but instead they're looking at more of a short-term promotional structure, as I predicted. And people went in my comments said they couldn't possibly do that. That's not how they're structured. That's what they're doing. They've now switched to like this do 6 batches promo for $80 or whatever. And people are like, that's only 25 cents more than the $7 I'm already making. Why am I trying to hit a promo when you're paying me an extra $1 for a whole day's work? It's not a promo.
Because they trick the new people because they don't know that. They don't realize it's like not an additional, it's a total. Yeah. So that's how they get everybody.
In the Fiji era, though, thankfully they're taking tips out of that. So they're not counting tips towards the promo, which is a good step forward. Aporba never did that. They counted everything towards it. So you get that big tip that destroys your promo for the day because, someone's tipping you like they should, as opposed to being tip conditioned to tip you 5% or $2. So, their promo structure obviously works in their favor. And unfortunately, you say new people. I don't think that, they're preying on new people, but I think the biggest thing is they're preying on immigrants. And that's another thing that really pisses me off, is they got a lot of workers from Asia, a lot of people from South America, a lot of Eastern European folks, a lot of people English as a second language. And, they don't know necessarily that they're getting screwed over or there's language barriers, or they just think that that's the way it is. And this is America. You got to grind and grind and grind and grind until you're in the grave, because no amount of grinding for 99.9% of people is going to change their situation. It's just not with the way that everything's stacked against poor people right now. It's not going to happen. So stop watching the Gary Vee videos and spending your disposable income on trading cards. That's not for you. That's for billionaires to play with. You have to spend as much energy as you can to fix the system to allow you an opportunity to at least be comfortable. And you can't work for any gig really right now and be comfortable. They don't allow it. They don't want you to.
Yeah. So before we talk even a little more Instacart, I just saw Pedro came in too. What's up, Pedro? I know you hated the Instacart tons when you got it recommended to you. So I'm waiting to see if you chime in about that. But so Joel in his big heart has given me an offer to let people sign up for Dumpling and put in Rodeo 500 when you sign up. And I want you guys to explain tell me if this is a great deal and how somebody would get started doing this, because to me, this sounds awesome.
Celeste, you want to take this one?
If so, $500 after you do 9 shops on Dumpling will give you $500 after you do 9 shops.
I like that.
Wow.
So, I mean, that sounds like a pretty easy thing to get going. But so how do I talk to people all the time, and I'm sure you guys hear this too. So yeah, maybe Celeste, how do you tell people to get on board? That's one of the biggest things that it seems like to me. People are like, well, I haven't done Dumpling yet. And they just don't. Oh, and by the way, yeah, Gig Lebowski just came in. This guy is having good luck on Instacart in his market. So again, I think
to a grabber bot.
I think what you were saying too goes to like where, all of us are near a metro city, a big city. I think that, like you were saying about immigrants, about that kind of stuff, bots grabbing, I think that's more in the metro congested area. I think once you get outside,
Miami, LA, Chicago, it's rampant with all the bot grabbers and the reactivators.
Yeah, but even Denver, even Atlantic City, where Celeste and I are, I mean, no matter where, I'm just saying the smaller the city, I would think the better chance you do have on Instacart. I have seen
It used to be the case. I mean, they used to prey on the smaller towns. I mean, a couple of years ago when they were paying by batch and it was like a base amount, $7.25, $8.25, depending on the day, they had, regional managers you had access to, and they would like go in and say, all right, lower it a quarter every day this week. And someone forgot to stop that. And in Edwardsville, Indiana, they got paid negative 25 cents per batch for a while before they fixed it, because they could. I think maybe there's something you're to what you're saying, but in my experience, I found that, Instacart of the big gigs, because of the lower labor laws and protections, they're actually lowering prices in more kind of rural area red states and things like that, just because of right to work and all these myths of protections that, people just take less. Cost of living's a little lower as well. But, in my experience, I've always seen lower payouts to more rural areas just because demand's lower. You can get lucky, I would say, if there are 3 shoppers in your area and you guys can kind of game the system, but that's few and far between these days as people are leaving traditional work and just signing up. You used to be able to do that, but you can't necessarily, I don't think.
I mean, I don't know how the rural could get much worse than what I see here, though.
It can always get worse in the gig economy.
I mean, I'm telling
That's
you,
true.
though,
you never know.
I did a thing with Hannibal. I don't know if you guys know Hannibal Darby, but I did a thing with him a couple weeks back, and we both did our favorite right now platforms and our worst all-time platforms, and both of us claimed Instacart, and neither of us had done it that long. But it's amazing. I talked to a lot of people who are like Instacart hands down. I mean, they don't even blink about it. But then there's a few people like Gig Lebowski in here tonight. Like, he's having good luck on it. He's been dropping some videos lately, and I don't know if I've caught how long you've been doing it. So Gig Lebowski, if you're checking this out, if you could put in there how long you've been doing this, because I'm kind of wondering if it's a honeymoon period thing too, because I really don't hear good stories. I'm not doubting it, because I know you're telling how it's going, but everybody I know is just, it's getting to the point where with gas prices, there's no reason, or I don't see how you can make money. Maybe there are markets I'm not seeing things, but what I see here, there's no way, even at its best, even at the best offers I see, they're still not able, you couldn't earn on that.
No, yeah. It's kind of, anytime someone's doing well on Instacart, like, what's the catch, So I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it, but there is a type of personality that can make money, and that personality type is up at 5 a.m, is 50 years old, or a hustle culture person. And they're in the parking lot of the grocery store at 7 a.m. and they're done by 5. They've hit their $200. You can do that. Is it realistic for everybody? No. But I think that's probably one way that you could do it. But to be able to be like, to make like, what you used to be able to make, 60,000, 70,000, 100,000, you would need a grabber bot to do that. No question asked. Or, someone in the company who's like in their laptop kind of feeding you stuff, which they can do. No one will admit to it. But there's regional managers at Instacart that can F you over through their laptop. They can put limits on you. I call it throttling. I don't know how easy it is for them to do now with the big dump of just things you pick. But when they used to send you orders back to back, they could limit you and bench you for the day if they didn't like you or you were chatting in or
if you made them mad in the chat.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah,
They would totally block you. They did do that. Every time I used to chat in with them, I was kissing their bottoms because I'm like, I don't care if I want to make money today. I'm here to work. I don't really care. I'll tell you whatever you want to hear.
I was actually told something by another person who was in a class action against Instacart that a lot of us who are lead plaintiffs on the class actions have like a banner on our account. It's like red and it just says like, don't deactivate under any circumstances. If that's true or not, I don't know, but I feel like it is true because I do something every day where they could be like, just cut this kid off and he'll leave us alone. And I promise you, I will not. If you deactivate me, I will only become worse. Strike me down.
You don't think they have your picture in the office? They have your picture flagged in their office on the wall.
Give this kid whatever he wants. And, I'm actually, I don't know. If it's true, that'd be hilarious, but I'll never know.
So I'll ask both of you that at your best point with Instacart, what were you making an hour? At the
when I first started, I was coming home when I first started in 2018 or what was that? No, 2016. Jesus, 2018, 2016. I was coming home and like my roommate, I was like, they're paying us too much, man. Like it was fun. I actually left a job at a high dollar sales, home remodeling, and two of my buddies shortly after got fired for low sales. So I got them into doing Instacart as just supplemental. They're married, had kids on the way, so they needed money quick. And we would all meet up at like Mariano's and like have a beer in between batches. And it was fun. They were sending us good orders and paying well. Tipping was also great because they didn't condition the clientele yet. So I would say I would pull in maybe $600 to $1,200 a week, easy, of just fun, quick, good stuff. Access to all these Chicago buildings, freight elevators in the Sears Tower, $50 tips for a box of wine, all this. It was awesome. And then Amazon bought Whole Foods, and all of that slowly but surely just degraded every single day.
So, how many hours were you putting in for the?
I was putting in probably 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. 4 to 6 days a week, depending on energy levels. It was hard work, but it paid, commiserate to the work. Right. I was humping my ass in Costco with the pallets and all that stuff and pushing that shit across carpeted floors in office buildings. But, I was making like $60 for that. And it took me, maybe an hour and a half. So that's, 30, 35 an hour, which, slowly but surely got taken away. Now you're making $7 an hour on Instacart. Switched over to Dumpling. I'm now making 40 to 60 an hour on Dumpling. So, I don't know.
Well, and then I was going to ask you too, Celeste. So on Instacart alone, what was the best that you did either hourly or how he broke it down by week?
Well, usually when I had in my mind that day I was going to work, I usually just had an average. So I always wanted to do between 30 and 50 an hour, because you have to remember that average, you have to minus your time, your mileage, your gas, the wear and tear on your car. So you're really not making that 30 to 50 an hour because of like the long-term effects to everything as far as like maintenance goes. But that was always my average. So I'm like, I don't care what I made that week. Like I was shot for a goal of like 100 to 200, like Matthew said, a day, and then just averaging that 30 to 50, because that way for tax time and all that maintenance, like I knew exactly what I was holding for all that. But that was always my goal. It didn't always happen, but back then it was different. Like we had batches that we could deny. We had 4 minutes to look at them and we were like, nah, we don't want that. It'd come back to us. Or, it was so different back then. Like you could actually make money.
Economy was.
Remembering now.
Even rideshare, I used to be able to actually do good money. I mean, like Matt and I have talked, going back, and I mean, like we could all make money on anything we chose, any of the space that we chose.
To get to 200, I remember it was 150 on weekdays, and on Sundays it was 200 to 250 was my daily goal. Lately, over the last 3 years, my daily goal is like $70.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, back then, like I did Postmates, Uber, Eats. I would do Instacart, like DoorDash. I would just triple app all at the same time, and that was just how we made it work. But back then we were paid. Like even DoorDash was paid better back then. I mean, everything. Like you would do a hotel for like $200, and it was an hour work, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to multi-app with Instacart for years when they first launched in Chicago. They launched in like 2015, and it was still good work up until about 17. I didn't sign up for any other apps until just recently, just to kind of poke around and maybe see if I can be a thorn in some other asshole side. But I don't have the energy for it. It's not what it's,
Yeah, I mean, it was different. I mean, like in 2018 is when it came to Atlantic City Zone. So, I mean, we were making great money, but at the same time, it was just like bonus money. If you were already, I guess it was like the 10 of us. We had all that hustler state of mind, and we would just think like, I'm here, I'm in this township, I'm already at this store. And then a DoorDash would come in for $15-20. And it's like, I'm already going that way anyway. So that's what we would all used to do.
That's the idea.
I mean, it was.
The gig companies try to pretend this is, and that doesn't happen very often, especially not anymore because of how they design their systems. The media that like it's the housewife coming from the grocery store anyway, and why who's going to shop just like you, coming from the grocery store anyway, with 112 different units for $18. Okay, that's real to you? That's real?
That's not okay. 112 units. Oh my goodness. That's like a restaurant's order. That's not even a house order.
So I think it's illegal. Isn't it illegal for bars and restaurants to order on a third-party app from some random person to bring food that's going to be prepared for sale to other places? Don't they have to buy that through suppliers, like bars that buy through Instacart?
No, not technically. Not technically. And I don't want to dismiss it because I have a lot of restaurant clients. So I'm like, no, order through me. Don't use the distributors.
I was going to say, I knew that about you because when we did the round table, I thought you owned a restaurant. I was thrown for a minute, and I was like, you own a restaurant. And then we got into that. But I remember you.
We go after the butthead, but I think actually it's not it right now. We look the other way for the buttheads and we go after the good people. So we just got to kind of switch that back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even Grubhub right now. Wait, Bud Soda, Matthew, they do that all the time. Which
restaurants and bars ordering from?
They do. Oh yeah, they do.
Practice now.
A lot of them here do it.
And wine and spirits getting a case of Absolute vodka for $144 a case when you can, I don't know, get some kind of a deal on Instacart for lower than that. I don't know.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Even DoorDash though was doing like what you guys were saying about Instacart. I don't think the Instacart thing to the parking lots to me yet, because I can turn on at my house and there's orders up, but only, I don't know what I'm seeing. Maybe there's a lot more if you get to the store. But right now with
that's
Grubhub,
what it is.
You can't now drop an order like you used to be able to. Like you get there and they say like it's 25 minutes, you're already there, and you see like a 10-15 minute one you could go do on like Uber Eats. You can't leave the spot once you get to the restaurant on DoorDash. You have to stay there. Because the geolocation keeps you on. You can't drop the order, and you have to stay there to wait for it, no matter what it takes. You're stuck to that order now.
Another element of control, because a small portion of DoorDashers were leaving the space after they got there to either go to the convenience store, go pick up cigarettes, go to the dispensary, whatever you. So because a small fraction of customers complained about stuff like that, now every DoorDasher has to stay there, geofence locked in, otherwise they're gone. It's just another.
Oh wait, did I say DoorDash?
Yeah,
I meant Grubhub. Sorry.
Okay, so Grubhub. Oh, wait a second. What if like there's still times where you have a certain percent, like Instacart, it's what is it, a cancellation rate of 15% or something like that? Do they have any, like, what if you had an emergency and you really just couldn't fulfill that order? Or what if you got a flat tire? Like, you can't be bound to bones for life on a, things happen. What do they do?
Well, because they have anybody, they have to basically treat everyone like they're a criminal. So that's why they have all of these various elements of control, and you'll see them get entrenched more and more, and they'll come up with creative new ways to control the people that use the platform to be underpaid as we go forward. Just like you said, the Grubhub, that's a new feature where they're geofencing you at the location. They have whole teams of people, like of socially inept people in a room thinking of ways to control the workers. Instacart has it, Uber definitely has it, Grubhub definitely has it, and these teams are literally just designed to think of ways and little psychological tricks, control every aspect of the delivery, so they have less waste, less expenditures, things like less complaints, less people moving over platforms, things like that. And it's very easy to see through and why they did it. It just sucks that everybody gets punished when they could actually just be a little bit more, scrub people a little bit better who they allow to use the platforms. Then you don't have these problems. We don't see a lot of this stuff on Dumpling, right? Because it's a harder to use platform. It kind of weeds out the riffraff that try to do stuff like that, because Dumpling's not sending you clients. You have to go out and find them, build relationships. So there's more at stake there. And you're seeing just more of a value added, as opposed to just having some random stranger, who reeks like cigarettes, throw a burrito that was eaten with a note in it. And you should more. I'm not going to do that to a customer.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that's, here we step into the Dumpling thing, and really it's night and day difference. I think a lot of people are just scared to get started on Dumpling. I mean, it's harder because it's a business, man. It's
not for everybody. And I don't think 500,000 Instacart shoppers should flood the platform like they did during the start of the pandemic, because it didn't work out well for anybody. But if you do enjoy shopping, you do enjoy making your own hours, and you have kind of a knack for talking to people and things like that, it is for you. And it is worth it. I literally don't do any marketing per se. It's all word of mouth. I don't know if that's the same for Celeste. She does a lot of marketing and partnerships, and she's on the Chamber of Commerce and all that cool stuff, the grown-up stuff. I just
the grown-up stuff. I know, and it's crazy because I don't act like one half the time. So I don't know.
You're good at it. That's true. My first week off, all pandemic really, and I'm actually getting so many messages from clients who are like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" I'm like, "Read my banner on the app. I'm just taking a week off. It's been a rough start to the year because I've been so busy doing it on my own. My partner's away, taking care of family. So, it's been just really tough in the stores because since Christmas, like the butt-headedness of the population is just 5% higher every day. I thought it was going to subside after New Year's, but it's only getting worse. So I just need a week off to kind of take a breather and just reset my battery. And oh my God, I think like so far a dozen clients have like, "What's going on? Are you all right? Did you die?" And it's like, "No, just on vacation. We're back Tuesday. Don't worry." And it's like, you don't get that with Instacart or anything else. And it just feels so good, be like a real community. It's what the gigs promised, and Dumpling actually delivers it.
But yeah, and this is where it gets a lot different though, guys, is that, hey, Gary Middleton, what's up? You guys, I don't know if you're familiar with the Middleton apps. He does all the filtering apps. He also sponsors the podcast. He's a new sponsor to the podcast, but he makes those great apps like Maximo and the DUH and Flex Alert. And,
super cool. I have no use for them, but I hope they help people.
Yeah, the DUH is DoorDash only. The Flex Alert is to get Amazon Flex batches. But the Maximo is for Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, and Uber Eats, and you set all your filters, parameters, what you want to make, how far you're willing to go. I mean, everything. It's like he was around before Maestro, and he does it right.
Right. It's an amazing micro market that sprung up in the shadows of the gig economy, but they shouldn't need to exist, right? You shouldn't have to game the system to be paid a living wage, right? No. So I applaud all their work. I'm glad that they're successful. I'm glad that people use it, and they should if they help. But they shouldn't exist in the first place, because gigs should just pay their work.
If they should also just be transparent. Number one, they should. Every order should be fully transparent. None of us, I think all three of us just agree on this, and everybody in this room agrees with it, that they just need to be 100% transparent, but they always are working on ways to be less transparent.
Yeah.
Which puts somebody like Gary Middleton in the perfect spot, because he helps out a ton of people. He helps a ton of people make more out of these crazy hidden schemes.
So there's two things that gig workers need in their corner. Three things. They need people who have previous experience working at the gigs. They need people like Mr. Middleton here who build apps for them to fight back. And they need like a design marketing team, because people are not going to like read long screeds, or the people that, count. It's just, I don't know. I've always thought that, as opposed to having all these little groups fighting the gigs and like they have their one little logo, like band together and like have just a kick-ass marketing campaign of like really good design things that like make videos, cool videos and memes and GIFs and all that stuff. And I haven't seen that yet. We've seen the tech popping up with all these kind of middleman apps, which is good. And more are coming, and they'll always change as they get kind of whack-a-mole. But you know, what I haven't seen is, you know, like a cool, crazy, like marketing design type stuff. So that'd be cool to see that marketing kind of aspect pop into this conversation.
Yeah. So how do people make, I mean, if you have, how many people do you need to start with to kind of really feel like you have a start of a business with Dumpling? I was trying to think this through, like how many people would I need to have? Like, obviously I start Dumpling, I set up my account, I've got it all going. How many people do I need to have per week before I'm feeling like this can be my part-time 20 hours of my work week, or it can be full-time, or what?
So there's a very easy method that I used years ago to get my first 5 clients. And now it's actually sounds like it's even easier because Instacart seemingly has some type of vague pairing algorithm where you're starting to see regular customers again a little bit. So the cool ones, the ones that like hated Instacart, talk crap about them. Sorry, sponsor.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's all good. He's good people. See, this is what he said. I agree. If gigs were transparent and allowed contractors to control their businesses, there wouldn't be a need.
I like this logo. I like the logo there. That's awesome. Messi, tell us. So, you know, what I did was I just talked to those 5 clients that were like me. They were cool. You know, we aligned politically because they had cool yard signs, all that kind of stuff. So I you know, in the sales industry, you call it scrubbing a lead. You know, they scrubbed themselves. They were ready to come with me anywhere. So I just, you know, once I had the opportunity to open the Dumpling shop, I talked to those clients that were ordering good and tipping well. Once I swiped delivered on Instacart, I am no longer contracting with Instacart. Therefore, this is mine and your time now. Now I'm going to show you this cool app that's going to allow you to keep the money in the community, to get me every time, and you can go anywhere you want. How do you like that? Give me your number. I'll put it in the app. It sends them an invite. They download the app. They're like, I don't know how to use this. This looks crazy. Yeah, because we're tiny. It looks like garbage. Just give me a list. Take a picture of the list, whatever you need to do. It's just a list and a payment platform. So pretend like you're sending your neighbor shopping. It's that easy. And I very quickly got 5 clients, and they're still clients today. And I built around that through their word of mouth, through Facebook. I created a Facebook page for the grocery guy. So when you look up like Trader Joe's delivery, you know, Arlington Heights, Illinois, I'm popping up. And I'm the only one popping up because I'm the only one doing it. And that's where you find a lot. So if you have Trader Joe's in your neighborhood, harness that as well, because you're going to be the only one able to deliver there. And they have very dedicated fans, very small stores. So, you know, be careful, but very dedicated fans that will pay you what you're worth to get them their orange chicken and Japanese rice.
So I don't know. Are you seeing this up on the screen?
Traction doesn't show. Don't tend to gain traction because it doesn't show ride-alongs for the most part on how to work the app. As far as Dumpling. You know, one thing I want Dumpling to add, and they have aspects of this, is like a kind of like a business 101 school of like just a, you know, nothing like legal, you know, like telling you to incorporate an LLC or anything, but just like how easy it is to think of yourself as a business and a brand and to talk confidently about your services. And you know, there isn't a lot of Dumpling influence out there, I would say, or anything like that. Really,
well, Celeste is the adult. She should be doing this. She should be doing Dumpling videos.
Why does everybody keep adding social media videos to my books? I just said that at Santucci's tonight. They're like, hey, go on. And I'm like, why does this keep being my job?
We'll do a Thursday morning podcast. It'll be Celeste and Matthew in the morning.
I don't know. Can the world handle us?
But that's kind of how I figured it anyway, too. What you were saying, like you started with 5. I imagine that much of your business comes off word of mouth from those people to others. Hey, I'm working with this guy. I'm working with this guy who does my groceries, doing great.
Literally set it and forget it, because Instacart is so bad. That's good enough marketing for you to also build. Like this, don't market all. And I just have clusters of people just boom, 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 popping up. or their building or just their name, their street. I got a client, they put in their 2 orders, like, oh, yep, this is the real deal. It's not a scam. And that now they're telling the play date mom and dad, and now I'm also delivering to them, and they're really far away. So I hope they deliver together and order on the same day. But because my zone is huge, because I'm a loser and I don't do anything else. So I mean, I've as far as Minneapolis.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I go everywhere.
Wow.
I might change.
I mean,
soon.
When you had asked Matthew that, my answer was going to be 1, and now, like, really that 5, it seems like such a small number, but truly it only takes that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people to set you up, because that one person's going to tell everybody that you're wonderful and amazing and that this service exists, especially now with everything going on. Like, I have a customer, they every week get like bagels and cookies from a pastry shop. Instacart is not going to go 40 minutes away because it's on my way before going shopping. So I just plan my route that way. And that's just something they can't offer. But I think if you have those 1 to 5 people, they'll speak for you. That is 100% it. And with the scams, that's really all it is. You just have to have people know you. If they know you, you're skipping that process of the scam stuff.
You put anyone even half as good at this as Celeste or me, they're going to be super successful and smarter than any algorithm with routing, with picking groceries, deliveries, communication. There's just no comparison. And they're between a human mind and skill and a human body and an algorithm and an avocado machine. We're still decades away from them being indistinguishable. They can promise
100%.
Instacart promises the world, and all you see is complaints and all this stuff. Spend way too much on marketing and not enough on actually fixing their business
problem.
Crash in real life. You see, I only stream content, so I'm watching like the Xfinity live TV through the Xfinity app. Every commercial is Instacart, just Instacart, DoorDash, Instacart, and it's like, how much money are you spending on all this? Like, you have your house is on fire, and just because only a few people like believe the facts, it's like, don't look up, man. It's like, I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio in Instacart, like that's the meteor, and I'm screaming, and no one believes you or sees it because they sell this saccharine package that isn't really the reality. You're seeing all these viral videos of Instacart shoppers like peeling out in people's front yards and blocking the door of the grocery. I don't know. I'm rambling.
One of my customers, I was on vacation, so she used Instacart for that week, and she texts me immediately, and she's like, the shopper is beeping in front of my house. The baby is crying. The music is blasting. She's like, what is happening? She goes, I have to go back to them once, and I can't believe it. Because
pay is getting so low, you're seeing higher instances of asking for tips or chatting to the customer about like, hey, you need to tip higher.
So unprofessional. Accept a batch, do the work, hit complete, deliver with a smile, and go to the next one. It's not difficult.
It's that difficult. I don't think anyone who has a sense of pride can literally do that right now, which is why I don't do it, and I don't think, I'm not talking shit about anyone who freaks out on an Instacart customer because Instacart created that situation. Instacart put them in a pit together. And, they don't do anything if you fight Instacart. They just look the other way and say it's a vocal minority or whatever. And they just have the customer and the shopper fighting each other. And I think, we need way more customers to get on the side of the shoppers, which we're seeing more every day. But we're also seeing Instacart fight that with overhiring and drowning out the noise with people who are like, F you, I'm making money, I don't care, your strikes don't do anything, blah, 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 which may be the case, but that's only because Instacart has so much money to throw at the problem, and people who are getting screwed over on pay don't have money to fight. And if they do take money from people, then they get called shills or whatever. So what are you supposed to do? Fight them with sticks and rocks and expect things to change? No, I'll take $1 billion from UFCW or shady lawyer if they say 100% on paper it's my money to do what I want with, to fight gig companies. And you can call me a shill all you want, but I'm broke. I don't have money to take on Uber.
No. So I saw this from Gary Yeah, Gary, so Celeste
I
is,
don't.
I think, full
I don't.
blown.
I've been
just
out since
into Dumpling and
2020.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I know Matt is too, but Matt was talking about how he is still on the app. So I mean, he's just kind of waiting.
And I only try to do 3 orders a day, and I think I might try and start a little earlier in the day. I don't like to. I need like 2 hours of like takeoff in the morning, so I'd have to start waking up at like 6 to be on the road by 8. I get on the road by about 9:30, 10 as it is. But I need to add another order in the day just to keep up with the demand for me. So if you're in the Chicago area and you want to do dumpling, I need some help. I'd love to give you business. I can't. I physically
all of their links are in the show notes too, guys, for their dumpling pages, and then their social media pages as well. So you can find both Matt and Celeste in there. But
with me, I still may have access to a good, an even better type of referral system. Don't quote me on that. I got to check in with Joel, but I know that we have access to a pretty cool and lucrative referral system for serious people who want to try it. And it's really
see, that's a lot of the people in here tonight. Like, I'm not seeing as many as sometimes. I mean, there's a lot of people in here, but I was not as many Instacart people, because I know some who are really good at Instacart, and I'm surprised they're still doing it. And they talk about how bad it's going for me, but they're really good at gig work. I know this about them, and they love the shopping and they love doing it. And I've seen 2 Instacart shoppers in here though, but I mean, like, that are really good and doing this really good, but it's at some point it's going to wear. I don't care how good it's going. At some point it's going to wear.
Yeah, well,
one guy that I said was doing good, it's been since December that he signed up.
The big
I was talking about honeymoon period. Like in Denver, my honeymoon period was 0 hours. I never saw hours. So I think that, it was like an instant divorce from Instacart. I don't know.
But it doesn't matter like how good of a shopper you are, and it doesn't matter how much you love it and how much. But it's different than being a business owner, because with Instacart, I can understand why some want to stay there. It's no consequence. You can just walk away. It's just your job, and you leave it there. But being a business owner, like if we there was an instance with one of my restaurants, there was an issue, and I had to go right back that night and replace it because I wasn't going to let it go. So it's like there's this is your name and your business. It's a lot of work and a lot of time, and it's just not like.
For that extra work is you're making more per hour, which means you have more time to kind of deal with that stuff. And it's a nice little break from just being out in the streets all day, kind of, communicating from home, looking at your books.
More personal.
All of that. Yeah. And I think the opportunity cost of having your own thing and the pride in knowing it's yours and you set your rates or your percentages, I think does, for me personally and my personality type, massively cancels out the we'll send you the work. I don't send me the work. I'll find the work, because I don't shop for everybody. I'm not for everybody. I actually lady try and come at me in my own chat like, what the heck? I don't know how to figure this out. Like yelling. I'm like, lady, you're talking to me like this is Instacart and this is not Instacart. You're gonna talk to me like a fellow human being, or you don't get my service. And it felt empowering to be able to do that. And she, I came to find out she's like was sick with COVID and stuff, and I'm just taking it out on whoever. And I'm scheduling her for an order at Trader Joe's, and she chilled out a bit, and I actually bought her flowers and a card too to go with her Trader Joe's order. It's like, hope you feel better. And she messaged right after like, oh yeah, you didn't have to do that. And I was like, yeah, I did, because you're an asshole. And I just wanted to.
Well, that's a good point though, man. There's no once you do have your business running, I mean, there's no threat of being kicked off a platform unless you were to like burn the house down kind of thing. But
stress is completely gone. You don't have to stare at the app all day. The only reason you're staring at your app is because you're routing your day. You're like, all right, I got to go to Target for Rob. I got to go to Walmart for Marin. I got to go to Mariano's for Jamie. Okay, they're cool. I can route myself efficiently, but I got to message Marin and see if she wants her order a little early, so I can go a nice little circle. Instead of going 70 miles, I can do 48 miles. I can be done by 2 p.m. You can do that, as opposed to sitting in a parking lot freezing, cleaning your car minutes and waiting for Instacart to send you peanuts. It's just there's such more just pride in that and less stress. Like,
yeah, not having to like be in a certain place within a certain amount of time while being. It's just, I was thinking about it this week that most of mine they'll just tell me whenever, and I show up a random day and a random time, and I'm like, ooh, did I text them and say I was on my way? And it doesn't matter. Like, it's just what's best for convenience for me. So spoiled.
Yeah. I mean, but then again, you got to treat, I mean, now it's your business. You have to treat them well or else they'll.
Not hard
Yeah.
to be a person.
No, it's not. I mean, especially once you unbuckle from these apps, once you realize you're not at the mercy of some app that might even claim you did something wrong when you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we all of us know, all three of us and everybody in this room right now knows somebody this has happened to.
Oh yeah, the amount of fraud that's been committed against me on Instacart is just laughable. You know, it's insane, and you can't do that on Dumpling because I'll come back and I'll say you stole from me, and I'm calling the police. This isn't Instacart. You're not stealing from a $40 billion company. You're stealing from me. You know, or it's my name or this and that, and you got better be sure I never had to do that, and I don't think I ever will. But you know, you do have more options to protect yourself and just feel better about yourself and reduce your stress because you know people are leaving their jobs citing stress, coming to the gig economy to have a different type of stress that might be even more dangerous to them. And I think talking with you two has helped me realize just how less stress I feel, and I can breathe to not have to feel that stress. And the only time I want to mess with Instacart is when I'm feeling froggy and I just want to have some fun. You know, the freedom, you know, of that is just really worthwhile. And I don't know. I just hope more people find Dumpling that can utilize it like we do. I know they're out there. I know there's at least 100,000 in this country. Use Dumpling and be awesome and feel less stress.
I mean, I'll tell you one other thing that I just heard happen. There's a pretty popular YouTuber called Jen on the Go. She does a lot of Instacart.
Yeah,
she was talking.
Yeah, she works with Gig Workers Collective, and she radicalized her real quick.
So she was talking about recently in a video how the new facial recognition that's coming around for Instacart in certain markets didn't detect one of the shoppers as themselves because they have cancer and their face was drawn out, but it was still them. Mm-hmm. And they had to fight to get back on the platform. And I was thinking, why even bother?
Well, you know, use facial recognition in and out of their platform for years. And we've also heard stories. Just today, I heard stories of a kid picking it up from the mom off the bed. That if she got deactivated, same situation. You know, they don't care because it's all through an algorithmic email server as well, MailChimp and all that. So no one's even really reading the stuff. They all use the same systems, and there's no oversight because they have so much churn and they have so many bodies that throw at the system that they have no incentive to help you.
Thanks, Bud Soda. I was just using the point that Jen had made a video about that, but it was more the facial recognition stuff than that.
When I watch your video, I'll say,
yeah, Gary Middleton also was saying that he'd do Dumpling even. So, you know, like he is, and he's trying to help everybody out. And he's saying do Dumpling. So, what's that?
I don't know.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, the other thing is I hear about these bots. Is that another reason that when I was on Instacart, I'm not seeing anything at all?
Waves. You know, I think Instacart's playing whack-a-mole a little bit with that, but if at all, because technically, you know, if you read through it and do some research, it sounds like they're not technically doing anything like against terms or illegal. I don't know necessarily about that. I just think it's unfair, you know, that they allow grifters to kind of come in with a net and take money and do that. But you'll see it in waves. Somehow they always seem to originate from like South America, it seems, which is interesting. You'll see like, you know, groups of people in like Costco around one phone using it. You know, I don't know. I how to fix it, I don't know, but I know it's rampant and it's unfair to honest people who, you know, either can't afford to use it or just will not use it. I'll never use it. I know.
I never did when they first came out. I know shoppers that were, you know, they're like, hey, it's easy money. I'm sorry, but there's a reason there's easy money. And if it comes back on me, like, I'm not going to chance the deactivation. Like, I'm all about that pro versus con consequence. Like, what is the consequence from that? To me, it was too high.
I'll punch up and cheat Instacart, but I'm not going to cheat my fellow poor people out here trying to hustle. And actually, we searching one of the first bots for a story with Sean Captain for Fast Company that originated down in Miami years ago. Still a video of like one of our friends who was in the organizing team, like logging into it, paying the money, taking the phone call, seeing the batches on his laptop, and I was like, holy shit, this is real. and this was like 2019. No, this was 2018, early. One of the first grabber bots. I was like, this has got to be illegal, and it's only gotten worse since. That's
Well, so that's the thing, though. It is. I mean, I don't know if it's illegal, but it's against the terms of service. These are people doing it by like subscriptions, right? You subscribe to them, and then they hook you up with the good batches or
something like that. Sounds like you're able to basically just put a filter over the Instacart app and say, I'll basically what you can do with Dumpling. I tweeted about this the other day. Is like these sound like cool features that Instacart could just apply to their shoppers. Where I only want to shop at Costco. I only want to deliver within 7 miles. I'll only take orders of this size. It'll cut out all this bullshit. And then you can pair if you have a strong algorithm that's worth $40 billion, fucking use it for something cool that helps people and makes your company efficient. Fiji, if you want to take that idea, you can have it for free. Like, put it in your app. And you won't have to put these nefarious middlemen and have your shoppers being fleeced out of $400 a pop when the fake ones are coming in to eat up the scraps, and we're seeing that more and more is like,
yeah, but they have to pay for them, right? They pay like they're paying so much. Like, who even thinks of this stuff? Just go to work and make money like regular people. Just get up and wash your face and go to work.
These are grips is time that prey on basic human psychology, desperation, and believing that you have to cheat to kind of get one up. And some things you do have to cheat to get one up, but in these situations when you're working on like the black market, which is what it is, it's 1 out of every 5 has actually got something that's going to kind of help you. And I mean, I've read stories of people losing, $400, upwards of thousands of dollars, or the ones who get their account stolen, they're losing a whole week's pay. And that happens a lot. And
that's not right.
All platforms. And it's gross. And if the platforms just allowed you to filter your own orders like that, maybe everyone would be better off, including the customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gary Middleton's saying that Instacart should hire him to stop the bot. I don't think they want to stop the bots.
Well,
they don't want to. It's all part of their plan.
Here's the thing, Mr. Middleton. They have no incentive to stop it because it gets orders fulfilled fast by people who want to work. So they don't have an incentive to stop it, whether it's fair or not. It gets orders fulfilled.
And so that one is for you from Joe Gig too.
Yeah, I think I've seen you. I do zip code search in my area, and I see kind of people pop in here and there. I know we had a couple who had a good amount of orders under them. We had a Kim over there in the North Shore area. She was doing well. I think she's more focused on the family now. She's awesome. And then there's someone else. There's another guy, I think Kevin, doing really well. And Jen. Let's keep them coming. Keep fighting the good fight. But yeah, the demand is high and getting higher with Omicron coming. Like I said, my demand personally for the grocery guy, it's been like a good stock. Up a little bit down, then up a higher peak, then a little bit down and a higher peak. I mean, you can track it over 3 years. And at this point, like I said, I have to add on more slots, and I don't want to because I just have enough work for my small life. But the demand is there. So if someone wants to work with me, I'm willing to meet up or whatever safely and show you some ropes and get some more people offloaded to Instacart onto a much better platform, much more value added with Dumpling.
Well, it's your business.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole night and day of it, guys, is that it's your business. I mean, you get to set your rates. You get to talk to your clients. And I remember talking to Matt, and I remember when we did the roundtable and I was talking to Celeste about this, that when you and I talked the last time even, and that was May of 2020, when we did the other podcast, that you were already starting to do things like dog walk on the Dumpling platform and stuff. And this was like back then.
I got to go get a whole family's worth of ice skates sharpened. That was pretty awesome.
I mean, just how random jobs were coming in your lap from these already customers of yours.
I was going to do it for free, but I paid for the skate sharpening on the Dumpling card. So I saw 20% of the skate sharpening. It was $55 to get 4 pairs of skate sharpening. That's crazy high. So I made like $15 to just, go with a bucket of skates. And then I went shopping at Trader Joe's. I got their order, packed it up. On my way back to their house, went to the skate shop, and they were already done and everything. Picked them up, charged, went back, and the whole family's at the big, bay window, like, oh, the skates. And, you can walk away feeling great, for the family. You don't get to sharpen skates for a family.
Well, I know that Celeste, you were doing the same thing though. Like when I brought that up on the round table and said that Matt was talking about walking dogs, like you were saying like that. I mean,
that
it's not
all
just
the
that
time.
either. Just random stuff that people want you to do.
I bought crickets today. Like seriously, I love it. I had an order for a bow tie collar for a dog, and I'm trying to think what else. Like, yeah.
I do free
I don't
prescriptions
know.
too for older people.
Yeah.
Shopping, that's always fun to do.
I mean, I would think that
Yeah.
that's the point when you can really modify, and not that you're like taking your customers to the cleaners. Obviously, you're treating them good, but where you can really like make some money on your customers and they're happy too because you're getting everything done within a reasonable parameter.
The one thing I keep saying is the value with something like Dumpling is that personal service. And I put this in our Facebook group the other day because I thought of it that way and how I charge my clients and how much trust they have in me. So I have my rate set at 20%. In my app, I say keep tipping to a minimum because I keep most of that 20% and you guys buy a lot of groceries. So you don't need to be paying me all this crazy stuff. So a lot of people are like, what do you mean don't tip? I'm like, just, realize that I keep 20% of your receipt total. That mostly goes to me. So, and so how I describe, I guess got a new lead coming in right now, I get all these messages. So what I describe with my relationship with my clients is they hand me like a big marble block of money, their grocery and their 20% and their 20% tip. And I'm like, I'm not comfortable you paying 140% over your receipt. So I'll do the groceries, import the receipt. I'll see I've made like $89 for an hour of easy work. Trader Joe's, they don't have that stuff. It's very easy. It's like shopping at Aldi. And for a reason, it's the brother. So I'll deliver their groceries. I'll get in my car. I'll drive around the corner. I'll look at my business owner app and I'll see what they paid, what I'm making, and I'll go, that's too much for me to make. I don't want to charge them $96 for an hour's of work. So I'll go in and I'll adjust it by like $40 and just give that back to them. And I'll be comfortable making, let's say $50 on that, or 40 or 30, whatever I feel like, is a good number. They'll pay me that 40% extra, but I don't want them to. And I think that also feels nice for them to know that someone's being fair back with them and is, whittling that marble down to a nice statue of value for them.
Right. I mean, I see it as if I was going to go into shopping, I would jump directly into Dumpling just because I've talked to you guys enough. I mean, where I've been behind the scenes, I've talked to Joel, I've talked to you guys, I've done the round table where I've learned enough and I already know how bad those other platforms are. I'm more of a business minded person though. So for me, I would really make this business. If I wanted to be in the shopping space, I would dump my time into Dumpling because I know that, like you were saying, if I could scrape up 5 people who would become my weekly customers every 10 days, bi-weekly, whatever it is, something just to get me going, I know that I could impress, all of them, but maybe 3 of them can get me some leads.
Yeah.
And then it keeps treeing out, that they have some leads and they have some leads.
You just explained what happened with me. It's just a tree of just branching out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it does come from Trader Joe's delivery. I won't lie. But hey, I'm right there to catch that business because I'm the only one doing it.
Right.
I would love there to be 20 other people to compete with me on that. That would be amazing. Because like I said, I'm like comfortable where I'm at for a good while, and I'll take on more, but I'd prefer to give it to somebody else.
Right. I mean, Celeste, I know that you even told me that you like same thing as Matt was just saying when we talked before that you can't take any new clients on almost. Or at least then.
I am. I have been. But you know what? I changed a lot since we last talked. I hired somebody full-time.
Okay.
And that was helpful because then I was able to branch in areas I just wasn't willing to go because it was so far. It made me feel like Instacart. Like, say that again?
I'm really excited to watch how you guys who are doing that actual like hiring employees and I'm interested to watch that. How you guys navigate that. It's going to be super interesting and fun, I think, to watch.
Yeah, I threw her right in. I literally was like, we're going in and we're going to see if it works out. And I'm going to figure it out right away because she was an Instacart shopper that I had been watching for quite some time.
There you
go. And Yeah, so I knew it would be an easy
Didn't you
transition.
try it with somebody else though too, and it didn't work out?
No, it wasn't that it didn't work out. It's just I couldn't get her to be like a reliable, consistent person. And at the time I wasn't expanding my hours yet. So now that I've expanded to 7 days a week because I have, hired somebody, it's easier. It's like you can, all those orders I would have passed up, but now with her, I'm like, yeah, we'll be there. No problem. I can start earlier. I can end later. And then she has weekends. So it's been so far, knock on wood, been great. So, yeah.
Like K or whatever. It's not W-2. We're not employees.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I was going to say to him, it's how you structure it though. I mean, if you structure yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I actually had this question that Bud Soda has. Your employee, are they W-2? Do you have to do all that crazy actual business owner work?
So I signed up for Rocket Lawyer and I did all my documents. I made her sign a non-clause agreement, which Susie is the one. I called her and was like, hey, I need to make sure legally that I'm covered. I didn't want her. I was thinking like the Instacart way, like we used to think, oh, well, I could shop this person and they could be my client and it's against policy. So I was thinking like that. If I hired somebody and if she decided that she wanted to do something like this, I wanted to protect myself and my clients that I've had for years. So I had like a non-clause agreement. I typed up and added all these extra things and I made her sign it. And I told her I had like a typed out thing that was notarized for the card. Like you can't use the card anywhere, and at least with the Dumpling card, I can see if she's ran it anyway. And if she has, it's going to show the receipt. So luckily for that, we would have that alert anyway. But no, I would love to hire one more person, ideally, before summer, because what's going to happen is I'm all of a sudden seeing this huge upscale in business because of COVID going up, where normally I wasn't getting a lot of COVID. Now I'm getting a lot of COVID last minute orders. And luckily that I have somebody I can accommodate. But come summer, I'm going to need way more to attack the shore towns because we're going to get an influx of people.
So you really are an adult.
I know.
You're using Susie and other adults. You guys are both adults.
I love her. I love Susie. She's honestly the kindest, most sweetest, and she's good with business. I love her. She has such a good heart and she loves animals. So that's like a winner for me. Once I see that, she's crazy like me. Will jump out of a moving car to save an animal. She's exactly the same. Yeah. And she's brilliant when it comes to business.
Hearing up at how awesome her and Susie are. They're like so good at what they do. I'm so glad.
I love her.
They do this. It's so awesome.
I know. We always say if she was here, we would attack New Jersey. They're like Instacart, we would just take them down. If I had like my Dumpling, my other DBOs, like, oh man, they would be done. That's it. We would take this whole town out.
When I open up the Instacart app, you're able to see like a big area. And my area is always like a dead zone. And I don't know if like I'm being retaliated against and they turn off, things that are close to me, or if like literally my whole town hates Instacart because I live here. I don't know. You could turn on the Instacart app in this town and you'll see tons of orders around, but like nothing
really
right here. So I'm always wondering.
But I haven't seen the app in like so long. I'd be so curious. I don't even think it would work because I don't have an activated card anymore. Like I'd be so curious what the front screen looks like because it's probably 100 million times worse than it was before.
It looks like watching
the Instacart control room probably have a siren going off if you came back on the app. Like,
homepage.
This one, don't let the purple-haired freak come back.
So at Instacart 9, I think their hope was to hit a horse race board for their design for the because it's literally just like ding 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 and beyond, and you're just like, okay, well, what is going on here? And you're like, it's because it's like that they learned it from a magician, right? Like distraction. If you're distracted, you're not going to be able to think critically about how you're getting screwed over. So the more bells and whistles and movement, and closer they put to like where your actually thumb is set, they literally like they put the accept button where people have a natural resting thumb place. So you accidentally accept orders that you don't want to do, and then you either have to cancel them or do them. And then they put penalties on cancellations, so you just might as well just do it, right?
Yeah, like, but we used to have 8 minutes to decide. Like they don't even have 8 milliseconds to accept something. And we used to be able to sit 4 minutes and then think about it, wait for it to come back like after another minute or so. So it's more than 8 minutes. You were like, dang, I should have taken that. Should I have taken that? I'll take it when it comes back.
Right. They did that because there was no psychology. Okay, give them a second chance. Maybe they'll do it because they're desperate.
And it worked.
Like, okay, I'm going home in an hour. Okay, I'll do it. Just give it to me. So they compounded on that philosophy and like shot it into space with craziness. And it's like, what, you have to have a bot to be able to make sense of it for most people. And it's not the way. It's not. All of them built on that. It's the wrong way. People are throwing billions of dollars at this technology, and it's the wrong way. It's built a foundation built on sand. You know, this is groceries and food. This is stuff you put in your body. This is stuff that keeps you alive. We're not at the point where robots are going to be able to fill that space comfortably for us, at least for a while. And it's just another thing that's enraging is that just so many people are throwing billions of dollars at all of this technology that is basically a pyramid scheme. And there's smaller companies like Dumpling, and there are other people out there like Dumpling, ride shares, co-op community type stuff, doing this in different regional places. I'm just familiar with Dumpling, but you know, I think if more people had access to the community feel of it, and that's why I don't think I'd ever hire an employee or things, because I think a lot of time people are paying for the interaction with me too, because I'm a real person and I talk with them, sit on the front step or put the groceries inside, and they know my personality. And it's not for everybody, but it's for the people I serve, and I like that aspect of it. And I think that's the foundation. That's where you should be pouring money into. Not that Joel should be taking any millions from VCs and losing pieces of the company, but you know, if people just use the company more, we can grow naturally and don't have to change the app and lose the soul of it. And if that ever happens, I'll be the first to start screaming about it. I have hope that is possible, but I need the house of cards on the other side of the apps to fall faster. And I don't think we're seeing that fast enough. Unfortunately, I think we missed a bunch of opportunities in this pandemic to change a lot of things about how we live, and we didn't do that at any level, at absolutely any level. From the easiest rung to the hardest, we did not do it, and we will not do it. And I don't know where that leads us. The reason I'm on vacation is because I get threatened every day in the grocery store. Like, I just got threatened to be shot today on the road, just running errands, you know, like what? So
welcome to 2022.
Now you know why I live the way I do.
This guy knows
like
what
I'm
he's
crazy.
talking about, guys. This guy.
Thanks, Joel.
Right
Look how nice.
By the way, guys, if you want to shout out to Joel, that's the CEO, the co-CEO, co-founder, but he's the one I always talk to. So.
Web pages writing about me saying that I work for UFCW, and now I don't want to say I work for Dumpling. I don't work for Dumpling. I just enjoy the platform. I'm good friends with Joel, and I really believe in what they're doing. And I consider him a friend, not a boss or anything like that. And I'm just really proud of what he's done, and I'm glad to be part of it. And I'm grateful that he calls me every now and then to shoot shit and have me say to keep it simple.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's put out a great platform. I think other companies could learn from this. I think like you said, it's not, don't everybody from Instacart jump over, but if you've been doing Instacart for a while, and if it's, you've got it down, you realize what it is now, and you realize the toxicity of it, then give Dumpling a try. If you've been doing gig work for a while, give Dumpling a try. If you like shopping, give Dumpling a try. I mean, these are the factors I think that make it where you should give it a try, because if I liked shopping more, I would do this. If I just don't have the love for it that you guys do. I
hate this out loud, but we need someone in Austin or San Francisco, wherever the hell Elon Musk lives, some dumpling shopper to bite the bullet and become his dumpling shopper so he can get on the tweeter sphere and tweet about Dumpling. And then, well, actually, I don't know. Do we want a bunch of NFT dudes to be the client base? Snoop Dogg. How about Snoop Dogg? Let's do Snoop Dogg. He starts promoting Dumpling just for fun, and all of a sudden people hear about it. Snoop Dogg doesn't say no to anything, right?
I saw he purchased property in the metaverse for something ridiculous like
He's making hot dogs. Making hot dogs now, and vegan hot dogs. I told him what hot dogs are made out of, so he decided to make his own hot dogs.
But yeah, guys, I don't know. I mean, if you're doing shopping, it is worth looking into Dumpling. I've said this before, but this should have kicked you into gear here tonight. I mean, enough of us can relate to Instacart sucking. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, just if you've worked it a while, it's gone downhill. If you've come on board lately, with few exceptions, it already sucks out of the gate.
There was just a comment in the thread
but
that if you don't like going into grocery stores, you can use it for whatever you want. I did during the holidays. I was picking up meals, deliveries, hot meals, cold meals, prepared meals. You can do whatever.
Right. I guess that's another good point, is that you're working because you're bidding it out with somebody. You can go to any type of restaurant you want, or little hole in the wall type places. It could be laundry. It could be, go get my dry cleaning, or
market of small, like Celeste does. I haven't even tapped that market at all. Like that's huge. Retirement homes, you get like 10 orders all at once. I had a customer. She was in a retirement home, like an upscale retirement home. She's a retired investor, and she loved Dumpling. She would do hundreds of dollars a week. I'd make $100 easy a week off of her, or not off of her, but with her. She would pay me for my labor willingly, gladly. I would credit her, but she kept hounding me to come in and give like an iPad, like for everybody who lived in her building. I'm like, I'm not doing 50 retiree orders. Like, I just don't have the capacity. But someone who wants to do it, it's ripe for the picking. Going in there and taking a group order for older people or disabled people, or just a random regular apartment building. You get all of them just ordering Dumpling, 6 units. That's all you need, really. That's a week's worth of work. You can get done in 2 days. You made $600 or $350, $100 scheduled.
But might I add, like with Instacart, you're paying them essentially in some way or some form. They're taking money from your pocket, so you're paying them to work for them. With Dumpling as your payment processor, that money's you're paying in a different way. You're paying to run your own business, and like, I know in the beginning the fees might seem like, whoa, that's what I have to pay, which is what diverts some people to open a business, because it's a lot and it takes upkeep and it takes work. However, if you look at, if you're already gig working, you're taking the money and you're putting it into yourself and into your own business. Eventually, you're going to make more. You're just, in the beginning, you're paying fees, yes, but in the end, it ends up paying off, because Instacart's not going to be taking your money anymore. And then that money is going back into your pocket eventually. So it's going to, all that work does, it adds up.
Right. So even more,
I would, people expect a cost of business, though. That's just what it is.
Well, that's what it is.
At least it's not dynamic, though. At least it's
it's attainable. It's not. But I think in the beginning that scares people off.
Dealing with, though.
One thing is, people do make the critical mistake of coming to Dumpling with a Instacart mentality of like not knowing the behind the scenes costs of merchant processing, payments, all of that stuff. My minimum, because of the demand in my area, is right now creeping on $40 an hour. And if that's your target to make, here's $40 an hour with Dumpling, here's $40 an hour with Instacart. I think what Celeste was saying, if that's your target and you're working for Instacart for 1 hour and you start at your 40, but you're ending your time with $7, you're giving away $33 of labor to them for free.
So there's your monthly fee in one customer. There's your monthly fee for Dumpling. Boom, done. That's what I mean, is like, people see that immediate number, but you're paying that so many different times. So you pay your fee and then you have your business. All that extra money that you were paying is going in your pocket.
And out of that 40 an hour, like, the thing that's good about Dumpling is fundamental, is that they're not taking a 90% cut. They're taking a 5% cut and a monthly rental fee for the technology. I don't want to learn to code.
Correct.
Partner's learning to code right now, but I don't want to learn to code. I maybe down the road I will, but to expect someone to let you use their stuff for free right now in this environment, we're just not there. Socialism hasn't taken hold, yada yada. So I'm gladly paying $39 a month to Instacart for my legacy monthly, just to like have access to the platform, and they only take like 5% of not even everything, of just my shopping and delivery, I believe. So that to me is a very fair cost of doing the type of business I do, as opposed to making $7 out of my 40 with a robot telling me where and what to do. There's no comparison. There just isn't.
Right. I mean, just finally step away from these apps. And I think that we all overlook the fact of how easy you can get deactivated too. Let's not forget that part. You could literally be killing it. Let's say you're killing it with Instacart, which you can't do, but let's say you are. You could be deactivated tomorrow. When you call them and say why, they're not going to even talk to you. You're done.
Nope.
It's not even worth the battle. It's not.
True.
Really, most people, there's like deactivation groups with Instacart, and most people who go into those groups, they're like, oh, it feels so good. I didn't think it would feel good to be done with Instacart, when they know they're done. People are desperate. I gotta feed the kids. That's a shitty situation. But, more times than not, seeing people like breathe sighs of relief, because again, that stress is just kind of gone. And
yeah,
it's good.
and it's customer by customer. Maybe just like you said, your one customer had COVID and she was being whatever she was being, but you made good with her and all that. But worst case scenario, maybe you have a bad day and you have it out with the customer and you were in the wrong and they don't forgive you like you forgave her.
Right.
You just lost one customer, but you're not off the platform. You're not done. You're not dead in the water, but you just learned a good experience and you lost a customer.
Like my business is, if we do have a disagreement, like I'm going to be the first one to be like, I'm just having a rough day. Sorry about that. And they'll be like, oh, I get it. Like we talk about all the time. I have some that I'm still got to eat, some plum butter a customer gave me. They make me like little treats and stuff. It's so awesome. So I can't even imagine having disagreements with my clients.
Right. No, but I'm saying if you did, it would just be a learning experience. You're not kicked off the platform. It's your business. You just learned something.
I will agree with you that deactivations is becoming a bigger and bigger problem as more and more people join the gig economy. You're just going to see more deactivations as more people do it, and that's unfortunate. And I think that's another big problem. Do some people deserve deactivation? Heck yes. But there's a good amount of people that don't. I don't know if it's a majority, but it's a process that's got to be fixed for the people using that app. I don't live in that world anymore. I don't have that stress, so I can only care so much about it.
Right. Because you guys live in a better world now. And that's why I'm telling everybody there, if you're doing Instacart, check out Dumpling. Come on, guys. And I know Matt might even have I just called you my son's name. Matt might even have a better promo if you're in the Chicago area than I gave, which, I don't know. So wherever you are, get in touch with Celeste, Matt, me, whoever. We all, obviously there's all promos to help you get in there. And like the one I have is just a generic one that, like I said, it's Rodeo 500. Doesn't do anything for me. I'm just doing it to get you out of Instacart. And because I like Joel.
Are just how to get everyone to join. These are like targeted, like, if I had my way, I would try and have a one-on-one with everyone who signed up and just be like, you want to do this? You want to do this?
Right.
You want to do this? You sure? Just to make sure, but gotta get access to everyone at the beginning, and sink or swim. And this is the easy to sink in because you have the most control.
So is it cool if people reach out to you guys?
Yeah, I can't promise. I'm on vacation and I am not great at talking to people like one-on-one.
Oh, no.
I'll eventually get to you.
No, I meant it like a direct question if they had one or something, because you guys are the most experienced people I know other than like Susie. And you three are the most experienced people I know on the Dumpling platform. So
yeah, and I will say, I think between one of us, there probably is going to be some type of media available. Whoever wants to do it, we'll try and get a Dumpling face out there making some videos and doing some ride-alongs and showing the app and stuff. I think I will probably end up doing something like that. But it's just a motivation thing. I need my partner back to help out with a lot of that too. So it'll be a bit. I think we'll get some good kind of videos that really do a good day-to-day and kind of explain. And it won't be the here's the DoorDash app. This is what they're paying. This is how you do this. This is a tip and trick. It's because you don't have to do that with Dumpling. It's you want this. Here's how you do it. Here's how I did it. Here's what I do in my day. I order around and I listen to podcasts and and I hang out at my stores and I shop for my people and I go home.
Mm-hmm. And Celeste and I are going to do something on Instagram. I'm not really sure what it is, but I do have some questions I'm going to ask you, because you know what I'm going to ask you? I'm going to ask you about the this business thing you're doing, because I'm now interested. Like, now you sound like you're even stepping beyond the Dumpling platform, and you are facing different choices are about to hit you with employees
About
and
to hit the
all the models
fan.
we talk about all the time. So that's a whole nother interesting way that it's taking you.
I don't even
But
know
I guess
how that
that's
happened.
what it's supposed to do. Well, because it's supposed to. You built a business.
Yeah.
You built a business. And it grew. I mean, all you guys, like last time I talked to you, you were at capacity, but now you have another person, so you could take some new orders on. But soon that won't be enough. Then you can have another person, and that's how things start. And
that's how they're doing it. Yeah, I've
we
been
need
looking into
good
expanding
people
to
like
like
you
other
guys
areas.
out there running businesses instead of all these other, let some of the gig workers who are really good at this stuff come to you guys and work under you guys, because I know that's a thing with Dumpling you can do, is keep building. And I know that it's even moldable. I know Joel's willing to work outside the parameter as long as you talk to him about it. And
beauty small enough to do that is excellent. I fear the day that Dumpling loses that access stuff, but if we're all going to stay doing this, we need Dumpling to kind of grow, and we need more people to use it. But right now is a great time. This is still early days of Dumpling. It's nowhere near what it's going to be, and even then, it could stop here, and it's good enough for me. I don't know so much about the building out an actual business. I think they have opportunity to really kind of get crazy with it and grow, and have tools and resources for people like Celeste who really want to just use it as like a one-stop shop to just grow a real business for real. I have a business, but it's just a dude at grocery shops, but like hiring people, that's serious stuff. So I'm so excited to kind of watch how they kind of navigate that. And I know that they're navigating it together, because Dumpling, they don't have this is how you're going to do it. That's not it. It's about the feedback, the back and forth. And I think that's one of the best things about working, with Dumpling.
all right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. You can find everything's in the show notes for these guys. So I don't know how quick they can get back to you if you did reach out or whatnot, if you had a question, but maybe post one through here, even in the show notes after the fact or whatever. But you can find their stuff and you can kind of see what they've set up. At least you can go to their Dumpling page, see how they've set theirs up. And then you can also go to their social media pages, see how they've set theirs up. I don't think you're going to see anything too out of line. And maybe that'll help you form, oh, wait, I see what they're doing. Maybe I could do this. And it's going to take that right kind of person who has that mentality of I can do this. So if you go and look at their stuff and think you can do it, try it. No harm, no foul.
Areas too. They're saying there's some. I think it will work anywhere. I mean, I think cost is a factor there, and Instacart can be cheap. But all the side-by-side comparisons that we do a lot with Dumpling versus Instacart is you end up paying, the customer pays less using Dumpling, and more of that money stays with the shopper more times than not. And
the store and the business.
Yeah.
If like me, you're supporting like another business, like say a lot of these coffee shops, DoorDash will charge them. I don't charge the business. So
there's so much value in it, whether it be a major city or a rural area with mom and pop shops, to make those connections. If you are that type of person who can do that or wants to learn to do that, because you can learn to do it. I didn't talk till I was like 6 years old. Like, I used to cry at my birthday parties, because I didn't like people singing happy birthday. And now I don't care. I talk to anyone. Hey, you want some groceries? Not a big deal. I'll get them for you. You can do that.
I mean, both of you guys have built successful businesses out of this, and you've both been around for a while too. It's not like you've been doing it 2 months and it's working. Both of you guys have been doing this for a while, so it's proven. We're
at like 950 or something. We're about to do our 1,000th order. I haven't made an announcement, but I think we're going to pay for the groceries on that one. Get it completely free for whoever does our 1,000th order.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
So Yeah, I guess I don't do enough delivery to know what that 1,000 feels like, but I guess that's
That's a good amount. I did over 10,000 Instacart deliveries over the years, but when you're doing 3 a day, 1,000 is kind of a lot, I would say. Well, we're seeing people
three a day, 5 days a week, or 6 days a week, 5 days
5
a week.
days a week. Well, I mean, people have already hit their 1,000. I'm not the best dumpling shopper or the most prolific or the hardest working.
I think you are kind of a hard worker, though. I know you throw yourself into the work and you care about your customers. So hopefully his customers aren't watching. So
they know how I am. I don't like talking about it. But no, more people have hit 1,000 recently, and that's awesome to see. So now we're playing catch up, and I can't wait to see more people hit 1,000. And that's a good first kind of benchmark.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us, and we're running over, and I'm keeping that Matt's only 1 hour ahead of me, but Celeste is 2, and I know that we're killing it right now.
10:30 here.
Thank you both for being here, and thank you everybody for joining us tonight. And I know, but you had a long day. I've had a long day. It's been a long week.
I know. Man. I'm looking at him like I got to be up in how many hours? Oh no.
Assassin's Creed.
I'm counting the orders in my head now, and I'm like, oh no.
But I'm already up to
But look at it. One thing you guys can notice is that these two are stress free. Look at them. Look at them compared to Instacart shoppers.
Just exhausted.
Look at these two. They got smiles on their faces. They're not like kicking something.
Pay off this van.
No. All right. Well, guys, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And
nice seeing you.
Peace.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Good night.